Welcome to Creepin' It Real. I am Judah. I want to let you know I appreciate you clicking on this video. If you could make it to the end, that'd be fantastic. And also a like, a subscribe, and a share would also be greatly appreciated. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Also, suggestions for movies. I've had some good ones suggested to me, like City of the Living Dead. It was a lot of stuff for me to critique and complain about, but I enjoyed it severely. So if you got anything out there you want me to nitpick on, please leave it in the comments and I will definitely get to it. So over the weekend, I checked out the comedy horror known as Transylvania Twist. Came out in 1989. Let's watch this trailer together for the first time.
Been waiting for you.
You dead, Uncle Ephraim?
Like hell I am.
This was rather unexpected.
It's Transylvania Twist. Two travelers come to a strange land to find the book.
I paused it because I feel like I need to pause it to break this up. But I really have not a whole lot to say other than this was a straight to VHS. This was not in cinemas at any point. I definitely see that as a plus for it. This movie does not take itself seriously. It's definitely in the vein of Naked Gun type humor. It's very self-aware, fourth wall breaking.
Of evil. Brought to a castle.
I insist you show us inside. There. That's what it looks like.
When
That was about the only... I giggled a couple times in this movie. That when the butler was kind of like, yeah, there it is. There's the inside. I didn't like laugh out loud. Sure, I definitely wasn't rolling on the ground. But I kind of connected with that kind of as an introvert when people just randomly show up your house uninvited and they expect you to invite them in. I'm kind of just like, hey, you're on my time right now. I don't know what you are thinking just showing up at my house. So I kind of connected with that. It wasn't funny, but it rang true to my inner thoughts.
no one
Marissa, look out!
should live.
Always does that. When we have guests.
And one of them just may be a vampire. The search is on.
A rubber bat.
Be there for the drama.
I will have that!
Be there for seduction.
Give us some sort of sign.
An assembly of the most
I don't even remember that stop sign thing.
awesome creatures.
You really expect me to swallow that, do you?
Which, by the way, this movie had tons of low-cut, big-boobed women in it. If that's your thing, this is for you.
The movie's so horrific. It had to be called Transylvania Twist.
Well, what's the good news?
There is no good news.
Never has this much
There is no good news.
terror splashed across the screen. See Boris Karloff.
I felt that bit right there, the spitting in the face, though the actual spitting in the face only occurred once. I felt that guy getting covered, Van Helsing, by the way, the guy who just got spit on is Van Helsing. That occurs more than once, and I felt it was well overplayed.
Kidding me!
You think I'm mad, don't you?
From the producer of
The bit with Boris Karloff, I thought was boring and unimaginative. I did not dig that bit at all.
Little Shop of Horrors comes Robert Ball, Terry Copley in Transylvania Twist. It's twisted.
Oh, Uncle Byron, I can tell you're upset.
Terry Copley apparently was in some kind of a TV show, but I do not recognize her at all. So, like I mentioned, this is a horror comedy, light on the horror, and I personally would say even lighter on the comedy. I cannot imagine anyone under the age of 40 getting half of the jokes in this movie. Let me take this off. Now, when I looked at Rotten Tomatoes, it has a audience score of like 46%, which pretty much jives with me. But when you go to IMDb and you look at the reviews left by people who have taken the time to make accounts, I would say it's overwhelmingly 6 to 7, 8 out of 10. I was surprised at this. I was also surprised with the last movie that I reviewed. I like how I did that little head nod to mention the last movie, you know, the one that's behind me apparently. So I was really surprised. But these jokes did not land for me. I've never been a big fan of the Naked Gun type humor. A lot of the humor based on miscommunication as far as literal versus, you know, not literal kind of jokes. There was a lot of, not a lot, but there was some, you know, Abbott Costello type who's on first bits that went on in there that, it just didn't land for me. I could imagine me in, you know, being a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. Well, gosh, first of all, heck yeah, being a 10 or 11 and seeing those women and all that cleavage, that probably would have been, you know, titillating for me. And I probably would have found the humor a little bit funnier. But where I'm at now, I didn't find the women necessarily attractive, and the humor just didn't land for me. They did tackle like every single major horror franchise. They got Elm Street, they got Friday the 13th, they had Texas Chainsaw, they had Hellraiser, Phantasm. I didn't see any direct comment about Halloween, but you know, once you grab Friday the 13th, Elm Street, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think we get, you're kind of making fun of the whole spiel there. Again, it did not land for me. There's a couple times that I giggled, but it was not enough to keep me engaged, though I did watch the whole movie, obviously, so I can come to you and tell you my thoughts on this movie. There was that bit with Boris Karloff that they spliced in from the movie Terror. That did not play off well. Now, I have seen people say that they thought that this was a masterpiece as far as comedy goes. It just didn't do it for me. As I mentioned, I can't see anyone under the age of 40 finding any kind of humor in this. Though, when I watch some of these Gen Z or Gen Alpha type humor, Transylvania Twist definitely is better than this. Like some of those memes that are out there that these Gen Z and Alpha think are funny, where all they do is just like crank up the bass and have some hideous and they think that's funny. If I'm going to judge this Transylvania Twist against some of these trash Gen Z, Gen Alpha humor, then gosh, this is a 10 out of 10. But as far as my general perception of humor goes, it did not land for me. Again, 10-year-old me, yes, I would have been into the cleavage and I would have found this Naked Gun type humor spot on, and I would be loving it still to this day as a nostalgia watch. But as it goes now, me watching it for the first time at the age that I am now, it was very just like, yeah, this is dated. This is dated. The humor is dated. Now, I want to give the other side. I don't want to just leave you with being like, oh, Judah didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't like it, but who cares? If you're into that Naked Gun airplane style humor, then by all means give this a try. But if you're not into that, then you can probably take my criticism and run with it and be like, yeah, this movie isn't for me. This is a Roger Corman film, by the way, and it had a budget of $1 million. And I got to say that based off of that budget, which is more than I have, And that's more than a lot of the movies I have reviewed here, but also a lot less than some others. $1 million is not that much to work on. And I felt that they did quite a good job with the aesthetics of the film, with the mansion. I mean, I'm gotta give credit where credit is due. So let's check out this review from IMDb. This is from Elliot Namaste. Let's see what they have to say. Very silly. You laugh at how bad the jokes are. The jokes can fall flat, which actually makes Transylvania Twist so bad it's good. I don't agree with that, but this is Elliot's opinion, and I stand by his desire to like this movie. There's eye candy for the guys, like I mentioned, lots of cleavage, lots of large breast, and plenty of cringe for the gals. What kind of weird misogynist comment is that? Lots of cringe for the gals. What does that even mean, Elliot? Gosh, I wish you could let me know, because that makes no sense to me. That like low key says that women only like stupid stuff. Anyway, I can't imagine any woman. I would love to meet a lady who would walk away from this movie and tell me, dude, the humor in this is spot on. Anyway, I feel this movie is standing on the shoulders of the Rocky Horror Show. There is obviously a lot of work put into this movie, particularly the sets, which is impressive for a B movie. As I mentioned, the sets are quite good. The acting is hammy, but that's fine. It's not to be taken seriously, but it's a good movie if you are not expecting Ben-Hur. That is true. I've never seen Ben-Hur. I found this on YouTube. I feel it's a little treat. You know what? Elliot is not wrong. I watched this on YouTube as well, and I don't feel like I wasted my time. I have never seen this. I needed a movie to review. It worked good for me. I didn't have to pay for it. So from that perspective, it was a nice little treat. I'm sure there are other parallels with this movie, which this movie has borrowed style or context, but everything creative is derivative, so sit back and enjoy. Elliot is not wrong. Nothing new under the sun, to quote the Bible. Now, the reason I picked this particular review is because Elliot watched this in October 20th, 2024. So I felt that would be the best person to compare my review to, as somebody who just watched it several months ago and me just watching it now. I didn't want to pick somebody who had watched it, 10, 15 years ago, to where it was, closer to the release date. Well, granted, would still be quite a long time, but I just wanted to highlight somebody who has watched it relatively soon or recent, the same as me. So Elliot gives it a 8 out of 10. I think that is extremely generous. I would go with a 4 out of 10. I can't recommend this to anybody. And if I knew you were like a Naked Gun Leslie Nielsen fan, I'd say to you, have I got a movie you're going to love? And it's called Transylvania Twist. However, if I know that you're a fan of Terrifier, first of all, I would delete your name from my phone book, and I would probably never talk to you again. But also, on top of those things, I would not recommend Transylvania Twist to you, because I know you're not going to like it. However, on the flip side, you do like trash, since you like Terrifier, so you might like this in some kind of a weird obsession with garbage. So that's where I'm at. Transylvania Twist, 4 out of 10. Would not recommend unless you're a fan of said humor. Also, if you are angry at my comments about Terrifier, I don't care. Leave a comment. Downvote me. That's fantastic. Terrifier just isn't for me, just like Transylvania Twist. But there is a crowd out there for it, and I understand that, and I'm happy that you guys have something to watch and enjoy. Please like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment if you would. Let me know how you liked Transylvania Twist. Do you think 8 out of 10, the score given to us by Elliot, is accurate? Or do you think 4 out of 10 is more accurate? Do you think the humor in this movie stands the test of time? How old are you? That's my question. If you enjoy this movie, how old are you? In fact, if you're somebody younger than 40 and you have watched Transylvania Twist and you found it to be fantastically humorous, I have to hear from you. Please leave a comment. Let me know how old you are. Let me know what it is that you enjoyed about this music, this movie. I want to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.